Hello and welcome to the Comicstorian Review Show with Andy and Dan. Some people call them Dandy, but that's weird. All right, welcome everybody to Comicstorian Weekly.
That should be our theme song.
You like that?
I do, yeah. Someone write down the lyrics real fast for us.
I've already forgotten.
I know, me too.
Welcome everybody to Comicstorian Weekly, where we review all the comic books that came out this week.
Man, the ones we read.
The ones we
Let's
read.
be honest.
Yes. We will let you know about the ones that
we did not read.
We did not read, but you might be reading, so we will let you know about those. We are just going to jump right on in today because he thinks we didn't do that many. I think there were more, and so
Apparently,
we're just going to call it safe.
I wasn't paying attention.
We'll just play it safe and pretend like there's a lot.
Okay.
All right, so first up, Action Comics 1019 came out. Neither of us have been following any of the Bendis stuff, really.
Damn you, Bendis.
Amazing Spider-Man Daily Bugle #1 came out this week. Did you read this one? So it was a strange comic.
Okay.
So it's about the Daily Bugle.
Sure.
Like it is
sense.
about the Daily Bugle. They're getting new people doing certain things. They're trying to revamp it because social media, online news, that's where everyone's going.
Is dying media.
Exactly. And they're trying to figure out what's going on with multiple different stories. And we have, by the way, this is spoiler cast. I'm just going to say that right now.
Spider-Man dies.
We have the cousin of the editor-in-chief who's trying to do a story about Spider-Man's webs polluting the meat district. And the other people are like, don't bother going. It's going to melt in an hour.
Right. Yeah.
And she is like, no. I'm going. And so she does go, and they're still there.
Okay.
And so it starts raising questions of, why are these webs staying? Is it really Spider-Man? And we get something at the end that I don't know who it was, but it seems like it could go in very weird ways. I'm very curious as to where this is going because of the fact that it's named Amazing Spider-Man, the Daily Bugle.
Yeah. But Spider-Man's not actually in it. Technically speaking,
not
like
fully
a main
yet.
character.
Yeah, not fully yet, right? As of right now, he got Peter Parker got rehired as just a photographer.
Okay.
So he's doing mostly Peter Parker stuff rather than Spider-Man, at least so far. I mean, it wasn't horrible, but it did not really grab me.
Sure, yeah.
Like a lot of other comics have. So moving on from there, Avengers #30 came out. Mm-hmm. So this was the conclusion to the Star brand, the Adventures for the Star brand. Did you read this one?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
I'll let you talk about this one then.
So this one does a little bit of a time jump. Issue starts off and they're back on Earth with Pirate Captain America. Space Pirate
Captain America.
Starjammer's Captain America is what he looks like to me, which is like Space Pirate.
And then we've also got On Fire Captain Marvel.
On Fire Captain Marvel, yes. So, and then we kind of jump back to the final battle between the Imperial Guard for the Shi'ar Empire and the Heralds of Galactus, who have been hunting down and trying to kill the Star Brand because it took over a human woman
who was pregnant.
And then so it's kind of jumping back and forth between those. I think it was a pretty good ending to the arc as a whole. The time jumps that he did in this arc was a little weird to me, how it kind of kept going back and forth. Because even did it at the beginning, it's like, they're like, hey, we're going into space, and then they're like, the entire team is split up and things like that. So overall, I think it was a very good story, though. And now we get the new Star Brand is a little baby, which is cute. I mean, babies aren't cute, but, you know, whatever. Overall, I think it was very good. There was a couple of moments in here that I thought were a little lame. Just little weird story beats. Nothing that I would say like ruins the comic, but I was trying to like, man, I mean, why do they do it that way? That kind of thing. They basically make the Starband baby out to be Jesus.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because like he gets three heralds are like, bring them the gift of. Yeah.
Here's some myrrh and frankincense and whatever the other one was.
Gold, yes.
It's gold. But no, instead it was hope.
What was it? So it was one of them is like, I give him the gift of life because I don't kill him right now.
I'm not going to kill him.
Nice.
So gift of life.
The gift of Faith, I think was the other one where he's like, faith that he will be something good, and I'm watching to see otherwise. So basically just threats. And Silver Surfer was like hope. I hope he turns into something.
I hope for him.
Yeah, something like that. Overall, I think it was a good end to the arc, though. So if you've been keeping up with Jason Aaron's Avengers, I would say definitely keep going with it.
Yeah,
unless you have different opinion.
Well, my only complaint is I feel like because they make the comment of what's going to happen when it cries, I feel like this was essentially Marvel going, well, crap. Immortal Hulk is now in control and is not raging. She-Hulk's in control and not raging. We need something that's incredibly powerful that is uncontrollable.
Sure.
And I feel like this is going to be kind of one of those situations. But I'm also very curious as to where it's going to go.
The Star brand itself is almost like a cosmic Hulk.
Like it is because of the fact it's the planet Earth's Hulk essentially because the Hulk didn't exist, but when they did 1,000,000 BC, they were like, well, we need a Hulk.
We need a Hulk, yeah.
Star brand, because it even looks exactly like the Hulk, just a different color.
Yeah, I think it was a good ending to the arc.
I really enjoyed it. So, moving on from there, Avengers of the Wastelands #1. This
was fun.
Yeah, so this is a mini story of, if you read Dead Man Logan, you know that at the end, Danny Cage was able to pick up Mjolnir, became Thor, and now we're getting the Avengers in the Wastelands, essentially.
Yeah. So you got Brucey Banner.
Yep.
The bastard offspring of Bruce Banner.
Yep.
And we get, what's the guy's name?
Derek? Actually, I don't know.
I think it's Derek, actually.
But he
has the Ant-Man armor. Yep. Yeah.
He found the helmet and was like, I'll use this.
And this is also a time jump. This jumps 2 years after Old Man Logan ended.
Dead Man Logan ended.
Dead Man and Logan ended, yes. And so Dr. Doom is apparently deciding, I'm going to take over the Wasteland on his... He's essentially just a Mad Max villain at this point. He's got a throne on top of a tank. 100%. Yeah, it's a Mad Max villain. I thought it was a fun little book. Yeah, I didn't even know this was going to be a thing.
Me either.
Until this issue came out. So, yeah, I like this. Because I always liked Old Man Logan. I liked Dead Man Logan. I liked all that. So, yeah, I like this. This was a fun little book.
Yeah, I enjoyed it as well. And it is just going to be a 5-issue miniseries at the moment. So if you prefer those shorter stories where you don't have to invest in a lot amount of stuff, all you need to know is Danny Cage's... Actually, all you need to know is told to you in this book.
Pretty much,
really.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
That is Avengers of the Wasteland #1. Captain America #18 came out. Neither of us are big Captain America fans.
Yeah. I like him in the movies.
Yeah, movies are good, but I've never really enjoyed.
I never really get into his books.
Yeah. Captain Marvel: The End came out this week. This was actually a pretty good The End story, which I found hilarious because at the end I was like, that was really good. I don't usually like Captain Marvel. Who wrote this? Kelly Thompson.
Yeah.
One of my favorites.
Honestly, the way they usually these days, personifier, I guess, or writer, she comes off really grating to me.
Yes.
But I actually really enjoy this book. So
this was a really good interpretation. It was a really good idea and was a very solid just ending.
Yeah.
Like,
honestly,
it truly felt like the end.
It could be the end for Captain Marvel as a character,
Sorry. But yeah, that's Captain Marvel: The End. Fantastic. If
it's a good... Because obviously all of these ends are alternate versions of what could happen.
Yes.
It's basically like what if the last story of said character. So this one is a kind of a post-apocalypse story
essentially,
at the same time
she was
as
like
her
off
last
planet,
book.
The Earth died essentially.
Yeah, and she was like, oh, I failed
crap.
everybody. But it turns out she didn't. There were still survivors and so on and so forth. Yeah, I would say, I mean, like I said, I'm not a huge Captain Marvel fan, and I still really enjoyed it. So if you're just looking for a good story with the character, it's not bad.
Yeah. No, I very much agree because I've never been a big Captain Marvel fan. I do read it for you guys.
I actually think she was written better back when it was Miss Marvel.
Yeah, actually, because she's kind of
as grating to me.
She's too full of herself.
Yeah, honestly,
I think that's my biggest problem with the character, and that's why I liked this one. Is it very much humanized her?
Yeah, honestly,
despite her being a cosmic god,
it humanized her, but it didn't like detract from her. It didn't make her feel weak or anything like that. It just made her feel like she wasn't.
She had emotions.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so That was Captain Marvel, The End. Next up is Conan the Barbarian, number 12. I assume you read this one.
Of course I did, Dan. So this is the end to Jason Aaron's, I want to say, first Conan run.
Okay.
For the 12 issues, fighting the Blood God. This is the ending. Conan, being Conan, prevails, as he always does. We also learned that Conan has a son.
Oh.
So I think it was a really fun ending to the story. I really enjoyed what Jason Aaron did with this. He wins. I guess that in itself is a spoiler, but the way they do it is very good. And I want to, I'm not going to tell you every panel for panel what happened.
Right.
If you've been enjoying Conan, go for it. If you haven't been reading it, don't pick it up at issue 12. That'd be weird. First of all, I've ignored 11 other issues. I'm going to get issue 12. You will be confused. And it does set up for the future of Conan books. Jim Zub will be taking over the next story arc, and Jason Aaron is going to do a King Thor story with King Conan and his son. So I want to see where those go. So but this was great. It was a great ending to the 12 issue arc. Honestly,
I definitely plan on reading the Jim Zub one.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So
he's one of my 3 favorites. So that was Conan the Barbarian, number 12. Moving on, we've got Deadpool the End, number 1. Now, honestly, I wasn't a big fan. So this one with Deadpool, let me rephrase. I very much enjoyed the beginning part where it was like an actual story.
Sure, yes.
Like it was explaining how he was basically trying to kill Death so that his daughter doesn't die. And then his daughter ends up killing him, and
right. So they could both die, and then he's good.
Exactly, and that was great. I loved that, but it only lasted about 12 pages, and then they start going, "Hey, what if it was this kind of ending?
Yeah.
What if it was this kind of?" And it was just 1 page, different ending. 1 page, different ending. And honestly, at first I was like, this isn't too bad. But then it just kept going. And I'm like, can you please just stop?
It went on a little long. Yeah.
My thought was, where's the end?
It was it was like, well, we'll do the Hollywood ending. And then it's like, we'll do the happy ending. And then we'll do the dark ending. And then we'll do the other Hollywood ending. And I would say if they had cut maybe, because there was like 10 other ones.
Well, this was also an extra long.
Yeah, it was like 30-something odd pages.
29.
29, okay.
Yeah.
That was close.
But it definitely was, because you got to the point where you're like, essentially each page I'd go, that part's funny. The rest of the pages.
Yeah.
That but I'm iffy on it, to be honest. So I neither recommend nor
I wouldn't
don't
say.
recommend.
I mean, it wasn't bad, but I wouldn't say it was the end book.
Yeah. All right. Next up is Detective Comics Annual number 3. I almost read this one, but it was at the end of my list, and I read so many others.
I was gonna read it, and then I saw it was an annual, and since I haven't been reading Detective Comics anyway, I was like, meh.
That's fair. Dial H for Hero number 11 came out. We are not reading it, but I'm letting you know anyway. One of my favorite The Ends, Doctor Strange The Ends, number 1. If you read the What If Magic Became the Sorcerer Supreme, this is essentially the sequel to that.
Yeah.
And all the wizards and magic users of Earth have died except Stephen Strange.
Yep.
And he goes on this journey with Wong, to kind of like reignite the fire, and like it was just a very solid sequel and ending. And my favorite part was the way it ends leaves it open for potential more stories. Obviously without Doctor Strange, but I would be very, very excited if they did continue.
Yeah, because I mean, the idea is that magic is dying off, and he's the only one left, so he's trying to reignite magic.
Yes,
and then that brings in magic, oddly enough, or magic, or however you want to pronounce it. I thought I would say of the recent ends that have come out, this one, and oddly enough, Captain Marvel were probably my favorite ones. Yeah.
So that is Doctor Strange: The End.
I do like him talking to Wong.
Yes,
the whole time
I really
too.
enjoyed the dialogue in it. Yeah, and like it was great because you really got the feeling of what Doctor Strange was feeling. Yeah. And I very much enjoyed it. Crap, I wish I had seen this. Doctor Strange Surgeon Supreme number 2 came out this week. I meant to read this. I actually didn't even see it came out. I must have saw Doctor Strange at the end and was like, and
then
went
went
on.
on. Probably kept going, yeah.
But that did come out. Hopefully I'll remember to read it before the next one comes out so that I can tell you about it. Next up on our list, we've got Fallen Angels number 6. This was the conclusion to the Psylocke story arc, and I felt like it was a total cop-out.
Yeah.
Awful ending.
Not a fan. I started to read it, but I had also fallen off the last couple issues, and I was like, oh, that's why I fell off the last couple issues.
It was not great. I did not like the character progression of everyone else except Psylocke. I thought the Psylocke portion wasn't too bad.
Right.
But like everything else just took away from that, and I was like, this isn't that great. And I'm going to say this now that Laura is still X-23 in this book. You'll understand later why I'm mentioning that.
Yeah.
But that is Fallen Angels number 6. Honestly, only if you have been reading it and you want to finish up the arc, pick it up. Otherwise, I actually do not.
I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah. All right. So up next after that is Hawkeye Freefall number 2. Did you get a chance to read this one? Benny didn't buy it at first. So you might
That's
not
probably
have
why
read
I
it.
missed it then. Yeah.
So this is the next part to Hawkeye, and a Ronin has appeared.
Right.
Everyone's
okay,
like, Hawkeye, you're clearly... He's like, no, it can't be me. I was at a fundraiser. And he actually is at a fundraiser, and Tony Stark's there, and he's with Night Nurse, I think, is who he's dating at the moment. And it's actually, if you've been reading Spider-Man, it's for the Feast Center. The center that Aunt May is making. Yeah. And she's like, our biggest donator, Clint Barton, come on up. And he is awful at like speeches.
I can see that. Yeah.
He's like, I'd like to thank people for this award. And she's like, this isn't an award. You donate a lot of money.
I'd like to thank my money for getting me this moment.
But I won't spoil too much in this because we do finally reveal who Ronan is. And it's very interesting. I'm curious as to seeing where this is going to go. And it's actually kind of funny who discovers that it's him or who it is.
Oh, okay.
Him being Ronan.
Sure.
But it was just kind of funny who discovered it, because you would think all these other superheroes could do it, but some like IT kid does.
That is pretty funny, yeah.
So that is Hawkeye Freefall number 2. Honestly, if you're a fan of the first one, if you're a fan of Hawkeye, definitely keep going. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. Next up is Immortal Hulk number 30.
Yeah. Honestly, I've fallen off the last couple of issues. I have not been enjoying this. I feel like we've moved away what made Immortal Hulk different.
Yeah.
And we've kind of slipped back into a more of a standardized version of Hulk. Mm-hmm. And it's just not as good.
It's not.
In my opinion.
It's losing me.
Yeah.
And we get a God Yeti.
I don't know. I was really enjoying Immortal Hulk for what it was. For what are we?
Oh, yeah.
We're on like 30 something now, right? Mm-hmm. So probably for the first 29. Because I feel like it's the last like 2 or 3 that have lost me.
It had me till like 25 before the Roxxon stuff.
Yeah, that's where we went into the Roxxon stuff. So yeah, around that time is when I feel like it started slipping back into a more standardized version of a Hulk story, and just not a very good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
don't like the art anymore.
Losing me.
I'm not really liking the writing, which I don't think the writer changed. I think it's still the same writer. Yeah,
still Al Ewing.
Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe.
Yeah, I feel like he might not have planned this far ahead that he thought people would like it this much. But yeah, it kind of not that great.
Yeah.
Next up, Iron Man 2020 number 1, the normal edition came out. So if you did not buy the director's cut because it costs more, you can go ahead and pick up the standard $5 issue this week. Next up, Jessica Jones number 2, Jessica Jones Blind Spot number 2 came out this week. I don't think either of us read that one, but I'm letting you know regardless. Josie and the Pussycats in Space number 4 came out. I'm letting you know because that's pretty funny.
New series. No, I don't know. I didn't read it.
I like their spacesuits have cat ears. All right.
Yeah, it's their gimmick.
Justice League 39 came out, finally, considering it got spoiled fully in Hell Arisen.
Yeah, first of all.
A month ago.
And technically, I believe isn't this like the ending? Because I think it says it starts over again in Justice League 1.
Yes. No, it will go into Justice League 40. They did confirm it's going to go into 40.
Okay.
But it's going to be a different writer, and it's going to be an...
Yeah.
Hold on.
I thought at the end it says like continue in Justice League 1. Maybe I misread. It's possible. Can you see the last page?
I cannot see the last page at the moment.
All right, never mind.
So it's either going to go into Justice League 40 or it's going to go into Justice League number 1.
Because that threw me off. I was like, but it's possible I just misread it. I'm
trying to see if I can find it. But...
No, I'm just kidding.
As a story, though, I did like it. Oh, it is going to go into 40. We do have a guaranteed 40 because it's on pre-order right now.
Yeah, I mean, it was an interesting ending to Snyder's story.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was going to go a different way, honestly. What'd you say?
I felt it was lackluster.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
But keep going. I didn't say it was amazing. Right. I just said it was an interesting story. Because I thought it was going to go different. I thought we were like at the tail end of this, and it was just like, okay, they're going to do the Justice League thing. Because I like Scott Snyder as a writer. I do. Mm-hmm. I think he has some very interesting ideas. His endings tend to be a little, it's like, yeah, and then we just kind of, boom.
Yeah.
We're at the ending. That's it. That's how it happens. Dark Knight Metal was the same way. It's like, it's crazy, 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 and then it's like, we can do it together, guys, and then we're at a party. Like, so, I mean, I get his endings aren't the greatest.
It's actually almost more that he goes, the climax is too high, that everything after is just so much lower.
So I was like, okay, we're going to meet the part where everybody comes together, and then humanity's like, yeah, all right, here we go. And then it's not how it ended, obviously. So I'm not entirely sure where we're going with it now.
Right.
I didn't dislike it. I wouldn't say it was the greatest thing ever either. So
right. Yeah. I think my problem with this one was Hell Arisen already came out, so I knew how it was going to end.
Yeah, that didn't help. Yeah.
We already knew Perpetua was going to win because of the fact that she says she won in Hell Arisen, and Hell Arisen says spoils events of 38 and 39.
Such a weird way to do it. DC.
And they even came out with Hell Arisen number 2 before they actually concluded the Doom Justice Doom War. But I mean, definitely worth finishing. Yes. I mean, it's definitely worth finishing because, like you said, it doesn't go the way you expect.
True, yeah.
And I do like the reasoning behind it, too. And you definitely have to read to see that because I cannot do it justice. So, see what I did there.
That's funny.
Unintentional, for the record. I'm just that good. All right, so next up, Justice League Dark number 19 came out. I did not read this one, but the cover looks sweet.
This was another one where it's like, boom, and we ended. Like,
really?
I feel like this has been ramping up, so they're fighting the Injustice Dark League.
Right.
Or I think that's what they call it. I don't actually know. And they've been like ramping it up, and then honestly, like, the ending was just kind of like magic and magic. How are we going to stop this? Magic. And it's like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And then it's literally just like magic. And then it's just the end of it. It wasn't a bad ending. It was just kind of, I feel it was very quick. I guess is maybe the best way to say it.
It's funny that you say that it's very similar to Justice League because it's the other Justice League writer, James Tynion.
I know, yeah. Like, so I thought it was very strange.
Scott Snyder's rubbing off on it.
Yeah, it's not a bad ending, and if you've been enjoying Justice League Dark, definitely check it out because it does wrap everything up. It just seems like it was a very abrupt wrap up.
Yeah. It's hard to wrap up stories with magic or with stuff like that because it is such a. Well, they figured out the spell.
Well, and honestly, it's kind of what it ends up being. And then they have like the whole the Injustice League Dark, but they don't even fight them.
That's lame.
Like half of them are just like, okay, I'm out of here, and they leave.
So it sounds like the Joker Who Laughs conclusion, where it's like, and he's gone on a Joker Giant.
Yeah, kind of. Honestly, yeah. Like I said, not a bad ending. And if you have been following the series, it is very good. Mm-hmm. But it was very abrupt. I feel is probably the best way to say it.
All right.
Next,
and
it doesn't really set up the well, I guess it does set up the next arc.
Does it?
Yeah,
okay.
it does.
All right. So next up is New Mutants number 6. So I loved, before I go into this one, I loved that I saw Sal's tweet that apparently he had been not seeing all the issues. So every time he was reading, he had gotten the space stuff. And then when he finally caught up and he realized that there was the farm, he got my opinion of
That's
it
funny.
Of like, why the hell are they doing this? Because this one
he's like, I don't know why everyone's complaining. The space stuff is cool, but he's skipping like every other issue.
Exactly. And so this is the conclusion of the farm with Glob, Armor, Beak, Angel, all of them. It concludes that.
I don't know if I'd want my mutant name to be the Glob, by the way. I feel like that'd be kind of lame.
To be fair, when you look like a... what else do you got? Slime?
Yeah, I guess.
Pink guy? Pinky? Pinky without a brain?
It's a 90s Animaniacs reference. Sorry, keep going. What?
But, I mean, it was an okay conclusion to that portion. Maxime and Manon are actually getting like used more. Those were the two kids. If you didn't read it, those were the two kids from the Extinction event.
Right.
I can't remember the guy, but he had recruited them. They essentially change your memories and make you do things, and they do exactly that. And they essentially experience the questionable natures of what do they do? Because at one point they make one of the guards shoot the other guard, and they're like, "No, why didn't you just make them befriend us?" And they're like, "Oh, yeah." And then they change.
Not nearly as cool.
They change another mutant's memories later on to forget something, and they're like, "You can't do that. Like, you need to." And it's a good thing to go into because they are kids that were tricked by this evil guy to do these kind of things.
The proper way to do it.
Exactly. They don't know.
Or the comic book way to do it.
Yeah, the comic proper or the mutant proper way to do it. But, I mean, if you have skipped every space issue and have been reading just the farm issues, I mean, it's worth finishing. But, I mean, honestly, I'm just not a fan of this because it does keep jumping. I kept, like, when they went back to it, I'm like, I had to sit there going, what did they do last time?
Right,
like, what
It's weirdly
happened?
paced. The whole story, apparently.
It's very weirdly paced and, like, with weird random intervals. So, that's New Mutants number 6.
Damn you, Marvel.
Next up, a Valiant comic that I read, Quantum and Woody number 1.
Oh, I missed this one.
The reason why... It's because Benny didn't buy it.
That would do it.
The reason why I gave this one a chance was it was Christopher Hastings. I enjoyed, I believe it was Deadpool run, which if you liked his Deadpool run, you will love this because it feels very Deadpool.
Yeah, I mean they're very much like Valiant's Deadpool team.
It's Deadpool and Booster Gold essentially,
which
is funny because if you read it, it's not the ones you think would be the certain
right.
ones.
You would assume like what? Yeah.
But I mean, it was actually pretty cool. You can tell when you go into a more indie publisher that's not Marvel or DC where they take inspirations from.
Right, yeah.
Because it's very clear they took inspiration from the nuclear family in this. Because you do have a villainous family. And and they're all like very happy and like they're like, wait, we get to go on a sick day? Yay! And they go kill people.
What are you doing? Your sick days?
As you do. But it was actually a pretty cool story. I don't know anything about the characters.
Yeah.
Honestly, about their powers, not much was told.
Okay.
But at the same time, I didn't need as much to be told yet. I will need it later because I'm like, okay, he's going kind of weird, like glowing eyes, like speaking prophecy kind of stuff. But you do get the vibe of both characters, of all the characters, really. You get the vibe of kind of their power set, where they came from, because they do a little bit of a backstory on them to tell you where they are, why they're public enemy number 1 at the moment, that kind of stuff. Because if you hadn't noticed, I've never read a Quantum and Woody before. But if you do want to give it a shot, honestly, it's worth it. I would say it is worth it. The art is a little rough at first. I'll show it to you. Like, it's...
Yeah, I mean... It's not terrible.
It's not terrible at all. It's not terrible at all, but it is very unique.
Yeah.
Or stylistic would be a better way to say it.
Stylistic is probably the best way to put it. Yeah.
But yeah, Quantum and Woody #1, I think very much worth checking out. Next up, Ravencroft #1 of the 5-issue miniseries.
I didn't like this one as much, honestly. Compared to the Tales of Ravencroft, like Dracula, Captain America.
The web. I keep calling it the web. The web of Ravencroft.
The web of Ravencroft. I like that. This one, I don't know. I didn't have like the same feel to it.
It was too much setup.
Yeah, it was a lot of setup, and to me, it was less to do with like I thought it was going to be more about like the secret history and things like that. Whereas this one was more about what Ravencroft is now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it wasn't bad.
Right.
It just wasn't quite what I was expecting.
I will completely agree with you there because this one was entirely set up, which I felt was odd because that's kind of the whole point of having the other ones were. But yeah, I don't know where they're going to go with this because it almost seems like a history repeats itself because they're putting bad guys in charge again. So, I mean, we'll see what happens in the next one. Yeah. We'll see what happens. It could be one of those ones where
it's just a slow start.
And then gets really, really good. So
that's true.
Ravencroft #1, if you want to check it out. I did not see that this one came out either. Scream, Curse of Carnage #3 came out this week.
Oh, I missed this one too.
Yeah, I missed that one. I did not read... because we missed the first one of this. Spider-Ham #2 came out this week.
Didn't see that one either.
I missed issue 1, and in case you hadn't noticed, I'd read a lot this week. So sometimes when I get to that point, I'm like, I just can't do it anymore.
They need to do Spider-Ham narrated by John Mulaney.
Oh my God. I would love that.
I would like that.
So yeah, Spider-Ham #2 and Spider-Verse #4 of 6 came out.
I saw that one came out, but I kind of fell off after like the 2 issues. I didn't think it was
personally. I didn't even give Spider-Verse a chance because I'm like, you did this twice.
Yeah,
I don't
honestly,
care anymore.
What was it? Spider-Geddon and
it was Spider-Verse and Spider-Geddon.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't care anymore. There's nothing you can do with the
Spider-Verse
Spider-Verse
new with it anymore.
Exactly. It's in my opinion,
and then they did
pointless.
have like the spin-off ones where it was like the Web Warriors going through the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, they already hit all the points they could.
I feel like they're mining it now, and it's just not good.
Yeah,
or not as good.
Yeah. So
if you're into it though,
yeah. I mean, if you are into it, might as well
still
keep
like
going.
It, yeah,
so.
I mean, I guess.
Star Trek Picard Countdown #3 came out. It is the conclusion. If you had been reading that. Star Wars #2 came out this week. Did you read that one?
Yep. So I've been checking this. This is the new series that takes up after Empire Strikes Back ends. So this one, they're starting the search for Han Solo. Spoiler alert for a movie that came out in the 80s. Han Solo was frozen in carbonite at the end of Empire Strikes Back. Sorry for all the fans who hadn't watched it yet.
Damn you.
So this is kind of just picking up with that where, Lando Calrissian is trying to help them. They're not fully trusting him yet. Luke still doesn't have his, at the beginning of the issue, he doesn't have his hand. He gets his robotic hand. Okay. He's trying to come to terms with the fact that the Force kind of left him. And we also learned that maybe someone actually got his lightsaber, caught his lightsaber on Empire.
Interesting.
At the end of Empire when it was falling through Bespin. So,
they caught the hand as well. Like, ooh, but this part's cool.
Ooh, just throw that away. There we go. But they threw the lightsaber by
damn it.
Yeah. I mean, it's not bad. It's kind of a slow start these last 2 issues.
Okay.
So, I mean, if you're a hardcore Star Wars fan, check it out. I wouldn't say so far it's been like, oh my God, this is an amazing story. Everyone who loves Star Wars needs to read it. So, take it for what you want. Yeah.
All right. I do not recognize that writer. Charles Soule?
Yeah,
I don't recognize the name.
He was on Venom for a long time.
Was he?
Yeah.
I only know very few names.
That's fair.
So.
Yeah. I think it was Venom.
Star Wars Adventures #30 came out. I doubt you read this because it definitely looks a lot more cartoony.
Yeah, those are the IDW cartoony ones. I don't tend to read those. So
that is fair. Next up, Suicide Squad #2 came out this week. This was another one that Benny missed.
I don't like go through them. Like unless it says bought, I don't look. Damn it.
At the end of the day, check the second half of Sunday, and I will have bought the ones that he missed. But Suicide Squad number 2 came out. This is essentially the new leader of the Suicide Squad that replaced Amanda Waller is now going, hey, Suicide Squad, you're working with those terrorists we just captured last time. And so it's got some interesting interactions of like one of the fish boys that King Shark ate the brother. They have to work together.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, it was an interesting one. I don't know what he's doing, but I am interested to see where it's going.
Fair enough.
Because
and it's Tom Taylor.
His portrayal of Deadshot is kind of weird to me because he's not as
badass.
Well, honestly, badass or commanding as he usually is. So I'm curious to see where this goes, especially with the very different dynamics of this terrorist team that's now working with the Suicide Squad that killed half their members.
Yeah.
But honestly, I am enjoying it. Tom Taylor is great when he gets to kill people off, and he definitely does.
Dude loves murdering superheroes.
He loves it, and I love when he does it.
That's true.
But yeah, Suicide Squad number 2 came out this week. Next up is The Flash number 87. So for you guys, I finally started reading The Flash, and I hate you for making me do it. No. So essentially, this is the follow-up of the story that was previous, where Flash goes Super Saiyan, beats the crap out of Captain Cold to the point that he almost dies. And now Captain Cold and Flash are getting sent to Arkham. And it's a very dull story, honestly. Like, you just get the banter between Captain Cold and Flash in the transport van. You're like, wow, this is so original. Man, I did not expect the Captain Cold to be like, man, you're a nerd. And for Flash to be like, man, you're a bully and a bad guy. It's like, oh, shocker. But honestly,
you reading it, not me.
I mean, it felt very lackluster for following up a Flash goes Super Saiyan and almost kills someone.
Right.
Because they also wrap up the Flash goes Super Saiyan and Avery and Wallace having weird Speed Force almost instantly.
Yeah.
And with a very weird reason of a sound cannon. Because they're essentially saying that they're moving so fast that they're vibrating through multiple dimensions. So they blast them with a sound cannon that's matching this Earth's dimensions to synchronize them with our dimension. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Pied Piper. Because, that's the person we wanted. But yeah, The Flash number 87, a little bit of a slow start to the next arc. I mean, I will keep reading it for you guys and in hopes that he goes Super Saiyan again. But yeah, take it or leave it. That is up to you. Next up, The Green Lantern Black Stars number 3 came out. I don't think either of us have been reading that one, but I'm letting you know either way. Following that, The Terrifics number 24 came out this week. If you've been reading that, you might as well keep going. We fell off a while back.
Yeah.
Thor number 2.
Oh, it's a good issue.
So the Black Winter kills the DC universe.
Yeah, hilarious.
It was pretty great.
Like, I had to flip back. I was like, wait a minute.
And it's very obvious that they
it's
very obvious.
Yeah.
But this is the continuing of Thor is now the Herald of Thunder for Galactus. Mm-hmm. Galactus is trying to eat these specific planets that Silver Surfer had hidden
planets,
from him, that they're filled with a certain energy that'll power him up enough to
stop the Black Winter.
Exactly. And then this is, for the most part, this is an issue of Thor being like, no, I'm a god. I don't care what you say. You're going to do it the way I want. And Galactus going, no, I'm Galactus.
Yeah.
I'm going to do what I do.
So, yeah, so I said the first issue was a great start to this run. Mm-hmm. Second issue, still just as strong to me.
I felt it was a little less, to be perfectly honest. There were times whereas I felt like it dragged on a little bit.
Okay.
There were times where I'm like, okay, we get it. You don't want him to do this. He wants to do this. You don't need to go back and forth for 2 pages.
Fair enough.
But Yeah, keep going with what you
I know. I mean, to me, it's a good setup for this new mythology and how, obviously Thor does not want Galactus to eat planets with intelligent life, and him trying to like find a compromise and things like that, which is at the same time, he's becoming very worried that he's no longer worthy.
Yes.
Of Mjolnir at the same time.
He keeps commenting that the hammer's getting heavier.
Yeah, so I'm enjoying this run so far. So
I am too. I definitely would say keep going with it.
The art's really good too. I think the art has a good
the art's fantastic.
Style to it, yeah.
And this, I think what makes this so good is it's got so much potential.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's so fresh that I honestly cannot guess what's going to happen.
It both feels like Jason, if you like Jason Aaron's run, it both feels like Jason Aaron's run in the sense of the level of scope, maybe, I guess is probably the best way to put it. But it doesn't feel like just a copy of that style either.
Right.
It feels like its own thing, but it still has that epic level of scope.
Yeah.
Which I think is really good. So,
which, if you did not read the one by Jason Aaron, Thor by Jason Aaron, the complete collection, Volume 2 came out this week on Comicsology. So if you want to catch up, you can do that. All right, next up on our list is Weapon Plus World War IV #1.
This is a weird-ass book.
This was very weird because we got a new man thing, swamp thing, Hulk thing combination and
brute force.
Yeah.
The commando dolphin.
I don't know how I felt about this.
I read it, and I was like, well, I read that.
Yeah.
It's probably the best way to say it.
That is the best way to say it.
The art is meh. The story was weird. Not necessarily bad, but weird.
Yeah, it wasn't bad, but it definitely was weird.
Either,
and it felt like a lot of the time I'm like, so this is what it would be if Alec Holland was a part of the military?
Kind of, yeah. That's what it seemed like. Yeah.
So, yeah.
But I finished it and I was like, well, I read that. Yep. Yeah. That's probably my strongest feeling on the subject.
All right. So next up is X-Force #6. This is essentially an entire comic of how leading the X-Force is affecting Beast. Yeah. And how Beast is still doing the Beast thing of, no, I'm always right, so I get to do whatever I want.
Spoiler alert, he's not.
Yeah. Shocker. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't horrible of a book. It's definitely showing that when they're a part of the X-Force, they are a Black Ops team.
Well, yes, that is the point. Yeah,
but like they go very, very much into it and show the violence that sometimes they are willing to go through in order to accomplish what they need to accomplish.
Right.
And this is definitely it's interesting because I kind of like and dislike Beast in this because he's very different from how he usually is of the level-headed, more trying to think of a peaceful solution before violent. And this is kind of showing that when pushed to the extreme, Beast will use his brain in a
sick and twisted way.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So
and generally making the wrong decision.
Yeah. All right. So that's X-Force #6. And last for this week is X-Men #5. So
you got to enjoy this issue. It's got your favorite character in it.
I know, and that's actually a complaint.
Your favorite. That's your complaint.
My complaint. So in this one, remember how I told you at the end of Fallen Angels, Laura's still X-23? Well, in this one, we get absolutely zero reason for her to be Wolverine. She just shows up in the Wolverine costume. Yes. He goes, "You're like Wolverine." She says, "I am Wolverine." And Wolverine goes, You got it, kiddo. Yeah, you tell him, kiddo. And that was it. And I felt gypped.
Okay.
Honestly, I wanted more. I wanted at least like a reason as to why she was wearing it. Like, it would have been great if there was a scene of her questioning it and having like a little discussion with Logan.
Why am I in this costume again? Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Or something like that. And I just felt kind of gypped because I love her as All New Wolverine.
Right.
I really enjoyed that. But I wanted a bit more of a reason, and I wanted it either in this or in Fallen Angels, and I got it nowhere.
Fair enough.
That was my complaint with it. But it's... I mean, I'll let you talk about it a little bit more.
The book itself, I think, is very strong. It's the same thing where we're kind of jumping all over the place with the X-Men. Where it's like there's a thing, and then each issue is showing how they deal with it now, and now we have a new thing, and now this is showing how we deal with it now, and how maybe that wasn't the right decision, that sort of thing. I still don't know exactly where we're going with these X-Men books.
I don't even know
because
anymore.
especially in the main series, it's basically like every issue is kind of its own thing.
Yeah.
And
it's like a collection of short stories.
It kind of is how it feels, honestly. Yeah. So I'm not. It wasn't a bad short story for what it was, and I assume maybe they should hopefully pick it up in the next one.
Because like the plot of this is there's a vault that this girl went
the Tomorrow
into,
people. Yeah.
And like time passes differently. They
like
send Laura, Darwin, and
because they're supposedly able
copy kid.
They're supposed to be able to compensate for this time travel or this temporal difference in this chamber.
Yep.
And then 3 months go by, and at the end they're like, how long has it been? It's been 3 months, whatever amount of days. And they're like, well, how long is that in the chamber? And Professor X is like 500 years and some change. And Scott's like, what did we do? So hopefully we'll get more of that next issue.
Right.
Who knows? Maybe even several issues will go by and they'll pop back out and be like, hey guys, we fixed it.
I don't know if this is going to go into a new spin-off.
Maybe.
Of them doing their own
Possible.
thing. Because I feel like, and this is a little bit of a complaint with the mainline X-Men, is it's not a story. It's leading you into the different
That is how it feels.
comics. And I don't
because
like that.
we had, what was it? The one issue that dealt with them going to like the UN meeting, and then the other issue dealt with the 3 old ladies with the flower stuff, and it's like it just feels like small events.
It's a sampler of their exterior comics.
Yeah.
So
not that the stories themselves aren't bad, it's just nothing ever happens with them.
yeah, exactly.
It's probably the best way to put it.
Yeah. All right. Well, that brings us to the end of today's Comicstorian Weekly. Thank you guys so much. We stream this live every Monday at twitch.tv/Comicstorian after our mystery cast at 2 p.m. Eastern. You can also support us over there with a Twitch sub, or you can support us over on Patreon at patreon.com/Comicstorian, where you get access to this podcast, both edited and unedited. It's funny, we got the fun intros, and I put a cool title page. And you can support us over there, get some awesome stuff, early access, that great stuff. If you want to find more of Andy, he is on Instagram at 4IamTheAndy. And if you want to find more of me, I am on Twitter and Instagram at DanTProducer and Twitch at DanTStreamer. Thank you guys so much, and we will see you next week.
Bye.